G'day and welcome to quick tip number 8. This time I'll show you an easy way to build your own multi-band dynamic EQ using Bitwig's EQ device and a few modulators. First, here's an example of the end result being applied to a forest lead. And now let's start from scratch. As you can see, I've added Bitwig's EQ Plus device in the device panel here. Clicking this button opens the larger window, which we can refer to in a moment. But for now, down here in the device panel, we need to select a bell curve EQ band here. Next, I'll double click the frequency value here and type 1000 Hz and just click here to enable the band. I can boost or cut the band like you would with a normal EQ here, but that isn't what we'll be doing this time. I will narrow the Q setting here though. Okay, now for the fun part. On the left hand side of all Bitwig devices are these 3 modulator slots with this little plus sign. When I click one of those, a browser appears listing all of the modulators that Bitwig offers. The one we need today is the audio sidechain modulator. When I click on the modulator here, it reveals all of the parameters to the right. You can see we have the device input selector, rise and fall parameters, otherwise known as attack and decay, peak or RMS option, and a high pass and low pass filter for the input source too. I need to filter out frequencies both below and above the 1000 Hz center frequency we chose first for the first EQ band. The bell curve starts cutting at around 700 Hz or so, so that's where I will set the high pass filter frequency. And I'm going to set the low pass filter frequency to 1.5K. Since the forest lead has no fast transients, I'll set the modulator to RMS mode. Then I'll adjust the rise and fall times to be a medium to slow setting. Now by clicking the modulator's assignment button here, I can assign the modulator to the gain parameter over here. Now, if you look at the window where the band is positioned, you'll see that when the forest lead produces frequencies around 1 kHz, the band will dynamically reduce the gain of the same frequency band relative to the filtered input signal's amplitude. Let's see how it reacts if I shorten the response time here to 50 milliseconds. If I need to, I can increase the input gain here so that the gain reduction is emphasized. Now it's just a matter of adding more dynamic bands. You can add up to 8, but for this forest lead, I don't really need more than 4. If you don't happen to own a dynamic EQ already, such as Pro Q3 or a multiband compressor such as the Pro MB, both excellent plugins from the company known as Fab Filter, I believe you may get away with using this Bitwig custom dynamic EQ in your mixes. Of course, you don't need to stick to only using the bell curve settings. You could use high or low shelves, like I've chosen to do so for the 4th band. And also, remember that you can choose not only the input source from the same channel, like I've done today, but you can also use a source from any other channel in your project. For instance, you could use the mid-range frequencies of your snare drum channel to cut out the same frequency band on your synth or Atmos channel in order to make room for the snare to cut through the mix. To finish up this tutorial, I'll add a macro modulator here and assign it to both the rise and fall parameters for each of the audio sidechain modulators. That way, I can easily adjust the response time of the dynamic EQ according to what's needed. Thanks for checking out quick tip number 8. I hope you'll find this useful, and I hope you got some insight into the flexibility of Bitwig. This preset is available for my student patrons to download. See you next time. Cheers.